Chip Gaines might be the king of home makeovers, but behind that royalty is a guy who seems to suffer from a lack of self-awareness. Chip's knack for surprising people is sometimes more likely to end in a lawsuit than a laugh.
It's like there's something in the air that makes him want to do something really stupid.
Chip and Joanna's love story doesn't have the romantic start many fans might imagine. In their memoir, The Magnolia Story, Joanna recalls how Chip kept her waiting for an hour and a half on their first date. She writes, "He didn't apologize for being late either." Joanna ended up being unable to make their second date because she had to undergo a surgical procedure, and she didn't hear from Chip. In a conversation she recorded in her memoir, she told him, "Everyone thought it was rude that you didn't call after that." As for his reasoning, he told Joe he didn't even think about it. Chip didn't ask Joanna out again for months. She later learned that he and a friend had made a bet to see who could ghost their dates the longest. Chip told her, "I really wanted that $50 from John. That's the only reason I didn't call."
And the fact that we're still hanging on together and it's just a fun adventure.
Chip has also come under fire from fans for being a bad dog dad. He and Joanna often allowed their dogs to stay outside, unleashed and unfenced. In the Magnolia Story, Chip complains about one neighbor who kept reporting the free-ranging pups to animal control. He writes, "There were times when the officer would call the dogs right off of our porch. They'd hop right in his van, and off they'd go, back for another stay in the pound." Chip and Joanna were fined each time this happened. While Joanna wanted to pay up, Chip insisted on ignoring the citations. He explained, "I absolutely refused to pay out of some misguided form of principle. But when the couple racked up over $2,000 in fines, the law came looking for them." Joanna was the one facing arrest, but Chip got the tickets swapped to his name, and he was whisked off to jail. According to two of Chip's former business partners, he once screwed them out of a big payday. Before Chip and Joanna found HGTV fame, Chip had a company called Magnolia Real Estate. In 2017, co-owners Rick Clark and John Lewis filed a $1 million lawsuit accusing Chip of keeping them in the dark about his deal with HGTV to film a reality series, which presumably would have increased their company's cash flow once it hit the airwaves. According to the Waco Tribune-Herald, Clark and Lewis claim that Chip committed fraud for his own personal gain, but Chip celebrated a legal victory when that lawsuit was dismissed in 2020. As reported by KWTX, all parties involved settled out of court in 2023. In a November 2016 report on Chip and Joanna's place of worship, Antioch Community Church, BuzzFeed laid out some of its pastors' preachings. Among them was the view that homosexuality is something that can be changed and that same-sex couples shouldn't be allowed to marry. Weeks later, Chip penned a since-deleted blog post for the Magnolia website, writing, "Our family wants to fight for a world that knows how to lovingly disagree. If your position only extends love to the people who agree with you, we want to respectfully challenge that position. Of course, not all disagreements are created equal, as some of them involve whether or not certain citizens get to have certain rights." In 2024, Chip really stepped in it after he got dragged into the X discourse surrounding the future of Baylor University basketball coach Scott Drew. At the time, there were reports that the University of Kentucky was making a play for the coach. In response to an X user who suggested that Drew might switch schools for a bigger payday, Chip wrote, "Money is boring. Everybody's got money. We've got God on our side."
Chip, what are you doing?
Chip's tone-deaf remark was not well received, with one critic writing, "Can't believe your insensitive comment considering how many people are suffering and struggling right now." Chip, who is a multimillionaire, made matters worse by getting into an argument over biblical interpretation. He then tried to save his quickly sinking ship by offering to send money to some of the people who criticized him.